T-Mobile Arena as the Indiana.
We saw her come back after missing 5 games.
Her shooting has gotten better. Her scoring is up. Alice last year, and Kia Stokes. We are about to get underway.
One thing to keep an eye on right away is the defensive matchups right now for the Indiana Fever, putting length. Natasha Howard on Chelsea Gray.
And that's one thing that Becky Hammond wants to see. Jackie Young attacking the basket. She's 9th in the league in scoring. Here's Caitlin Clark. Jackie Young starts on her. We expect to see a lot of different defenders. And there's the two-man game.
Those two players are elite in the two-man game, and Becky Hammond was talking about how important they are going to be defending that point of attack against the Indiana Fever.
When Clark was out, Boston's field goal attempts were about half of what they were when Caitlin was playing, and that's a good sign for Jewel Lloyd, who has taken a lot of threes this year and not done much attacking.
Yeah, just the aggressiveness offensively. Of course, giving up a ton of inches, but the Vegas 8 don't typically take advantage of that.
Wilson showing great patience, drew 3 bodies, tipped it to herself to keep the possession alive. Now Lloyd over Clark. Great start for Jewel.
Just the aggressive mentality by Vegas on the offensive end has looked really good for them.
This is right now 9th in the league in scoring. Low for them. Clark picked up, and then the cut by Hall. Shot clock winding down. Boston back rims it. Stokes comes up with the rebound. Lloyd, not shy, takes the shot. You see Stokes coming out. They are picking up Caitlin early, but she'll still take the long 3.
Jackie Young with a primary defensive assignment on Clark as well. A big, strong, physical defender.
Caitlin 0 for 2 from the floor so far this afternoon. Stokes got to take it away by Clark. He read it perfectly. Here she is on the move, has Howard, and caught her in mid-step.
Time by Indiana.
Yeah, so scary when they get out into the open floor like that. Young gets around the Wilson screen for Indiana. Wilson goes right at Boston, a couple of former South Carolina Gamecocks for shooting. It gives them other elements on the floor. Asia with the miss from the baseline. And now Boston able to bring the ball up. Gets it from Caitlin and nails it.
There it is again, the two-player game and how high they're getting picked up and just able to thread the
WNBA. Lloyd with the miss. Vegas has missed 5 straight shots. Caitlin already with 3 assists and gets it over to Hall.
Because yes, we are still playing with a target on our back. We have to start each quarter understanding where it comes from, and it starts with her.
Thank you, Angel. We just saw a nice no-look.
Tiffany Hayes, Sid Colson, players who are really good at connecting what was happening on the floor to their bench players as well.
Jackie Young, good look at the 3. Clark coming up with the rebound. Caitlin has assisted on all 4 made field goals for Indiana in this game. Howard from the outside drains the 3.
Indiana's looked really good and connected on the offensive end of the floor. Kelsey Mitchell has barely gotten a touch yet. That's their second leading scorer on the season.
Yeah, good point. She's not taken a shot yet. It's a 9-0 Indiana run, and Asia attacks.
I mean, when she gets the ball at the elbow area and is allowed to go left or forces her way left, she's so difficult to defend.
Her first basket missed her first 3 shots of the game. A terrific bounce pass. Clark on the money to Boston. Caitlin blown by Jackie Young, gets it inside to Howard. Good defense. First by Stokes, and then by Wilson to force the turnover. Gray left open for 3. She'll take it and hit it.
Accuracy doing so. And talking about accuracy, this
says you have to score. Now Stokes got her up in the air. And then Caitlin threw it away. Clark leading the league in turnovers this year. Now that is good, including last year. She was a unanimous pick. Block on Turner. So Brianna Turner getting an early look for the Fever. Doesn't get a whole lot of playing time, but gives them some size.
and a really good defender, and it could be a good matchup against A'ja Wilson on this end of the floor.
Always a challenge. Young. Sophie Cunningham in the game with some good defense, but Jackie got 3 chances. Young coming off a 22-point game in which she hit 4 threes in a game against Mitchell, who was at Connecticut and played for Stephanie White last year. And Sid Colson coming back to Vegas gets the assist right away.
Sid went up to shoot that shot and saw the long arm and hand of A'ja Wilson coming over, and last minute dropped it off to turnover. Or to Turner. She knew it was going to be a block if she did it.
Discretion, the better part of valor. In that instance, Mitchell chases it down. And then great hustle rebound by Hall to follow. Caitlin Clark not on the floor right now.
Colson did it again.
That was a pass?
It certainly was. And whatever I'm doing right now, A'ja Wilson's right there to stop it.
He's trying to keep it away from A'ja. Evans with the floater over Wilson. Cunningham coming up with the rebound. Sophie Cunningham giving Coach Stephanie White some punch off of the bench. Offensively, and certainly not afraid to get into the mix when the game gets physical. Kelsey Mitchell, such an elite scorer.
So much space, too, for Kelsey Mitchell to operate, be able to drive to her strong left hand. Nobody in the lane to help.
Now they bring the trap over on Gray. Nye left open. Usually she's lethal from out there. Was a terrific three-point shooter in college at Alabama.
Indiana's been really good in their rotation off of their traps so far in this quarter.
Mitchell, one of the all-time great scorers in the history of women's basketball. In the NCAA, Gray almost took it away. Mitchell driving on Nye. There's the double brought by A'ja. Cunningham with the miss.
Really good flare screen by Brianna Turner, though. That helped Cunningham get an extra second for that shot.
Mitchell driving to the basket and drew the foul. That is the first on Sophie. And it sends Tiffany Mitchell to the line. Upcoming WNBA or visit the WNBA app.
How about the start by the Phoenix Mercury, especially lately how they've been shooting the 3-ball as well?
Yeah, a lot of new faces there in the post-Diana Taurasi era. Alyssa Thomas leading the league in assists. Right behind her is Caitlin Clark.
Double drag screens continue to work well for the Indiana Fever. And that time, again, Aliyah Boston catching on the roll and finishing what looked like an easy one.
Boyd, short on the 3. Cunningham picks it up. Caitlin, shot is off. She has missed all 3 of her shots this afternoon, and nobody's given up the ball. They let them play on. Cunningham to Clark to Hall.
How about the big girls, though, diving on the floor for the loose ball?
Nice specialty from the corner.
And another really nice possession by Vegas. Switching sides of the floor, moving the ball quickly to the open shooter.
Vegas with a foul to give. Hall gets right in the thick of things again.
Defensive end, you had really nice help side. What are you trying to get done on that end of the floor?
Yeah, I mean, we just have to have awareness off the ball and being able to make sure that we're showing crowds. But then we've got to be better at getting back out to shooters when we are in help. We got to get back out to shooters, and we got to finish plays.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much. Thanks. Stephanie White back on the bench for the Indiana Fever. Did a good job on A'ja Wilson. Said she wanted to make her like difficult, and A'ja only got one basket in that first quarter, and that's a good way to start things off defensively.
Yeah, Indiana continuing to trap Gray.
And A'ja Wilson starting the second quarter on the bench. Nye Evans, two bench players in there to start the quarter. Clark again.
Great job. First by Caitlin Clark snaking the screen and then recognizing the switch happen. You have the much smaller Evans on Aliyah Boston, making it look easy.
Boston 6 of 7 from the floor. Colson picked Evans' pocket and then a little bit of a collision. Boston knocked it out of bounds. 9 seconds to shoot. So big time mismatch. Gray, a little bit of space over Cunningham, and she does it again.
She has a knack, whether it's the end of quarters or end of shot clock, of draining those.
And the three falling for Kelsey Mitchell. Vegas trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. They've dropped 5 of 6. Chancy pass. Colson read it perfectly. It's a 2-on-1. Sydney gets it to Mitchell, but that was a tough shot. Trying to contort her body under the basket. And Mitchell went over the 4,000-point mark in her career earlier this season. Wilson over Boston. Howard gets it over to Clark. Caitlin 0 for 4 from the floor. She has missed 10 straight threes. Going back to her last game where she was 0 for 7, only the second game in her career in which she did not hit a three. Boston turns. Howard got it knocked away. Good play by Gray. Kelsey into A'ja, who couldn't field it cleanly, but she stayed with it. Good pace now for Indiana. This is what Clark can bring you, and just that little hesitation. She lost Lloyd, but missed the shot. 9 for 3.
How good has Aliyah Nye been so far this season for Vegas? And Becky Hammond just raves about her motor, how hard she works, brings great size and physicality on the defensive end.
Second-round pick out of Alabama, and Caitlin Clark finally scores her first basket. As usual, a lot of Indiana / Caitlin Clark fans in the stands. Gray, short, she knew it, so she followed it up. Tipped it back to Evans, who buried it.
How about that on that play? Chelsea Gray goes in, gets an offensive board and an assist all in one motion by hitting that ball out.
She knew pretty much after she took the shot it was going to be short. Wilson picked up Clark, and then great patience by Boston.
And it really is a good sign for Caitlin Clark on a day where she's struggling to score and shoot a little bit, that she's still finding other ways to really be involved on the offensive end. 8 assists already in this game, Indiana.
Handboard Rebecca Lobo and Angel Gray joining you from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Wilson.
That time, A'ja.
Locker room presence, one of the connectors that you talked about that is so important for Becky Hammond. And now she is playing for the Fever. Wilson's had to work for every inch of real estate down there, and that one's short.
Outstanding defense by Aliyah Boston, because Vegas likes to clear out the left side of the floor for A'ja Wilson to go to work.
Oh, gets a good look from the corner. Oh, knocking down the 3. Extends the lead up to 5. Biggest lead of the game so far for the Fever. Young gets her own miss, but Natasha Howard got a hand in there. Colson running the show with Clark on the bench.
Again, though, double drag action. It's worked really well for them.
Boston and Wilson. Good little matchup. A little bit of space. Boston got the roll.
Vegas isolating Asia on the left side. Indiana isolating and clearing out for Boston on the right side. Just South Carolina big going after South Carolina big.
It's a 7-0 run. Wilson frustrated. No foul call. What a pass to Mitchell. On the run, and Becky Hammond takes a timeout. And got to try to figure out a way to score. Asia Wilson just 1 of 9 from the floor and has not taken a free throw attempt. There's her second field goal.
She looks up into the sky, praises the heavens that she finally got one to drop.
Yeah, so unusual. She's always such a high percentage shooter. And here she is out on Caitlin, who shoots over her and hits a 3. You saw her do it over Brianna Stewart last week. That's the first 3 for Caitlin. 0 for 7 in her last game and had missed her first 3 this afternoon.
And Asia Wilson can defend on the perimeter, and she got
Young driving against Clark. Wilson with an open 3. That's off the mark. Lloyd kept it going. And the ball hits air and goes back to the Fever.
Did you have to add the ball hits air part?
Yeah, nothing but air. Vegas only shooting 34% from the floor. They are dead last in the league in field goal percentage this season. We're used to seeing them near the top. It was a little bit of a tie-up, and they're going to call an offense. Vegas. Gray takes it into her own hands. On the switch, so Boston has the mismatch against Young. They go in.
And that's what you have to do, because Mitchell did not have the angle to deliver it from the wing. So where do you go? You go to the high post and look for the high-low. Beautifully executed by the Fever.
Just that extra pass made all the difference. So we get 2 minutes to go in the half. Asia on Boston. It's been a treat watching that matchup. Clark took it away from Boston to get the rebound. Asia 2 of 12 now from the floor. Boston matched up down low against Lloyd. Hall can't get it to her and then threw it in the middle. Shot clock.
That's in a situation where Howard needed to flash into the middle.
Already. Last 2 games averaging 21.5 per game. Triple team on Wilson, and finally, she draws the foul.
Well, she's only a 3-time MVP, and for good reason. She does so many things well on the floor, so the attention. Becky Hammond looked at her and said, I know. Take a moment, take a beat. She said, let me see those hands. Started rubbing her hands and said, you are going to do better in this game, and almost manifesting her to be better from the floor, guys.
That's all it takes. Becky Hammond rubbing your hands.
And magic hands of Becky Hammond, who was such a tremendous player. Goes out of bounds. The WNBA. Inside a minute now. And there's a whistle out on the floor. That's to the free throw line. 89% on the season. Vegas is 6 for 6.
I think this has been a relatively cleanly played game and a well-officiated game so far. Not that there's been any conversation about WNBA officiating in the last week.
Foul to give for Vegas. They don't take it, and Clark barely ticked the front of the rim. Frustrating first half for Caitlin from the floor. Clark, 5 points on 2 of 8 shooting, but does have 8 assists. Directing traffic. And now she's got Wilson on her. The 222s. Chance and some time now for Vegas. Young fires. And that is the end of the first half. Indy.
Because I think Caitlin was just hurting us, eating up space with our pick and roll coverage. She was kind of sliding there, bringing a crowd. Just continue to make the right play. That's all.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Clark with the air ball as Becky Hammond trying to get her team off this slide. They've lost 3 in a row and 5 of 6. Quite uncharacteristic to fall to 5 and 7 on the season. And Caitlin Clark, the last game and a half, her shooting has not been good. That's a good sign for Coach Hammond and A'ja Wilson to get things going. We saw that air ball from Caitlin. Her last game and a half, she's 1 of 13 from 3.
And what's remarkable to me is her first 2 games back after she returned from injury, she was shooting 45% from 3. And she had a real nice pass and finish inside for Indiana. But Caitlin Clark had a real kind of swagger about the shots that she was taking as well. She has not looked the same these last 2 games.
And missed those 5 games with the quad injury. Came back with a bang in that tremendous win against New York. They scored over 100 points. Clark facilitating well this afternoon. Boston blowing by the defense and drawing the foul.
Well, Rebecca, you just say it. She's an elite finisher this year because during the summer, she said, I wanted to make sure that was something that I corrected from a season ago. So Keith Porter, their player development coach, actually came down to Miami to work out Lexi Hull and Aliyah Boston during that time. She said, my goal coming into the season was finishing better around the rim. She said, my efficiency in the paint will allow the rest of the shooters to do their job. If that balance is there, it's on me to be better in the paint.
She certainly has been as Jewel Lloyd gets the bucket. That is her 5th and 6 points of the game. Boston, those free throws we just saw were the first taken by any Indiana player this afternoon. Shot clock into single digits. Clark pulls up. Picked up her dribble. It's up to Boston. Just got a piece of the rim. Wilson and Boston absolutely tapped.
Nice job so far in this game.
Clark attacking the basket. Wilson. Another miss.
She's Becky Hammond to rub her hands again.
Yes. Underneath Mitchell. Good defense by Lloyd. Finally, they called a tie-up. Was also something that the players and Becky Hammond were talking about after their most recent loss to Seattle. Asked about the defense, A'ja simply said we weren't playing any. Trying to fix a lot of things. Young.
It's never the hand signal to not review it.
Good mature play there by Boston. Gray falling back.
That's vintage. That's vintage Chelsea Gray. Just getting her to her spot 15 to 17 feet and draining the shot.
Clark, Boston.
Again, Aliyah Boston and her ability when she's on the move to not only corral the ball, but to get her balance so that she can finish.
Wilson slicing into the lane and has a chance. A'ja already with as many made field goals in this quarter as she had in the entire first half, where she was just 2 of 13 from the floor. Primary defender was Aliyah Boston, who did a great job on her. Howard trying to pass it out. Good active hands by
Injuries that they've had to deal with early in the season as well.
Really the last couple of years, Cameron Brink trying to get and stay healthy. Oh, Mitchell's turn to beat the buzzer. Her second 3 of the afternoon. Gets the lead back up to 8. Wilson found herself with a little bit of space.
Nice battle by Caitlin Clark trying to corral that board with Stokes right behind her.
Now with 9 assists this afternoon.
Watch A'ja Wilson's hands as she's defending Caitlin Clark. Puts him in her face, keeps him high, keeps him active.
Boston guarded by Stokes. Kicked by Young over to Boyd. Jackie couldn't chase it down in time. He's not with the team, out for personal reasons. Not sure when they will get her back. Cunningham. Nice one-handed rebound by Wilson, and then Sophie got a hand in there.
I think she's got a foot in there, though. That was the
That's
problem.
the problem, yeah. Touch. Going after a soccer ball, that's fine, but not here. Evans got Colson airborne. Over Lloyd. Gray with the floater high off glass this time.
Chelsea Gray is really good and efficient on the offensive end in terms of her scoring today.
Yep, 6 of 8 from the floor.
Vegas is at their best when Chelsea Gray is efficient. Look at the physicality inside.
Yeah, Wilson and Boston just entangled. Coach Hammond talked about was just needing them to play hard from the very beginning of the game. Shot clock is dying. Boston didn't recognize it. Her 4th year, a couple of titles with Vegas. A whole different story so far, but it's relatively early in the season. She's confident they can get it together. 44-game season this year. Ball stays with Vegas. The head coach taking over for Lambier. That's a tough shot.
Jackie Young, so strong and used her physicality really well on that possession.
Clark, guarded by Evans. Caitlin took her off the bounce and drew the foul. Guards not falling in their last game, the loss at Golden State, not falling here early in the first half. Get to the line, find other ways to help.
Jackie Young, once again, the frame that she has, her ability to get in the paint and then finish when she gets there.
Against Gray, and Caitlin took her.
The last 2 possessions, Caitlin Clark has got a bug in her bonnet, and she is trying to go one-on-one and score on whoever's defending her.
The double figures down with 11. Young trying to answer, gets a second chance. Now a whistle on bounce pass, turn. And try to go around the horn, but it's picked off by Evans. And now Nye, who's a really good three-point shooter, takes it off glass. And and only one time have the Fever and the Pacers won on the same day, back on May 24th, 12 years ago. Pacers win today. It will be historic. Well, Lexi Hall, rather, with a nice move to get to the basket. We will have a first-time NBA champion, regardless of who wins tonight. Inside 2 minutes. Wilson now guarded by Turner. Up to 13 points. He's been guarding Clark on the perimeter, getting that length. Could not.
Go either way, all the way to the rim or the mid-range pull-up.
3 of 5 in the second half after she missed 11 shots in the first half. Lloyd, this takes Colson right to the cup. Coming over from Seattle, career high in 3-point percentage, taking more, not driving as much, and that time it worked. Clark just got it taken away. Evans got it.
That's on the right foot. Saved by Sophie Cunningham. She put it behind, kicked the ball, saved it.
Big thing.
Yes, kicking is a good thing. Slow down the break. And a double.
Here it is again.
And just uses that speed to blow by the defense.
It looked like it was going to be the double drag, and then Cunningham got out of there. Really well done.
Asia driving on Boston, drew another foul. Second foul.
I mean, look at the difference. First half, third quarter.
It's been the anti-third quarter, certainly for Asia Wilson. They've had a couple of really rough runs, including their last loss, which was to Seattle. Asia 1 of 2 from the line in that trip. Just very little difference between the two clocks. Ooh, Cunningham hit the deck. Inside to Boston, Nye brought the double. Now they need a quick shot from Lloyd. Almost went in. 19, that was before the pandemic. It was a long time ago. 15 straight wins for Vegas in this series. Indiana trying to beat them. This is the first of 3 regular season meetings we will have between these two squads. Mismatch with Boston on Nye, pardon me. Clark caught it, but sure at Mandalay Bay. And this place is packed, Rebecca.
It certainly is.
This is the NHL arena for the Golden Knights. Jason Sudeikis is here. We saw Cheryl Miller. And now we see Jewel Lloyd. 1-point game. Vegas has scored 19 points off turnovers now. Shot clock into single digits for Clark. Stokes boards it, and now Vegas has a chance to take the lead.
And a great job by Nye defensively switching.
For the lead, Nye over Clark. The rookie from Alabama nails it. Indiana takes to 4. Way back early in the first quarter. Vegas trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Stokes out on Clark, but she finds Boston.
Where only Aliyah Boston can get it, and Jewel Lloyd was trying to battle, fronting, and Caitlin Clark delivered it. Boston again. Once it's up there, she goes and gets it and finishes.
10th assist of the game for Caitlin. Bounce pass. Clark got her hands on the basketball, but a little bit too much. She picks up a foul.
The career game with 10+ assists. And the rest of the Indiana Fever history, there have been 16 of those combined. That's ridiculous.
Just in her 2nd season, playing her 8th game of the year. She did miss 5 earlier. To the line. Guarded by Evans. Pick and roll action with Howard, with Stokes with some good defense. Asia getting a little bit of a break now. Ooh, foul on the perimeter. Jewel shooting it over Hall. Good box out by Cunningham. She was held from behind by Mitchell, who complains that she was being... scored yet today. Clark pursued by Nye. Lloyd able to come up with the rebound and somehow not step on the end line. Good pace for Young, and she scores over Hall.
Just the force of her will and strength, Jackie Young, when she gets a head full of steam, it doesn't matter who's between her and the basket. She can find her way there.
4-point lead is the biggest of the game for Vegas, who trailed by as many as 10. Young tied up. Good job by Gray. It's a 16-2 Vegas run. She's at her best when she dissects defenses with her brain, and she has been really good. Meanwhile, Indiana, this is a team that led by 10, and Stephanie White before the game had talked about
quite a bit this season is get Kelsey Mitchell the ball and clear out the left side of the floor, let her go to her strong hand. This time it ends up with a couple opportunities at the line.
4 foul on Young. Let's go over to Angel Gray.
Ladies, you hit the nail right on the head. Going back to the huddle for Indiana, Steph White was telling her team, listen, everyone, we have to reframe the narrative of how we allow ourselves to get rattled with physicality, really challenging them to put their foot on the gas and really put more emphasis on the paint. That was something that was a high level of importance coming out of the break.
What they do? They got touch in the paint. Now we'll see how they do with the physicality on the defensive end of the floor.
That has been a problem for Coach White, trying to get them to handle physicality from teams. It's down by 5. Boston, good defense by Lloyd. And now Mitchell gets around Asia and drew the foul.
It is so fun watching Kelsey Mitchell when she catches the basketball. It's kind of a jitterbug out there.
Missed the free throw. Just 1 of 3 from the line for Mitchell. Wilson passes over to Nye, who only needs a little bit of space. Now whistle. Nye misses the layup. Not all the hard part done to get to the rim, but couldn't get it to fall. Mitchell left open. That's usually dangerous. When she left college, she had the most threes in the history of Indiana's lost 15 straight to Vegas. Gray. With the miss, Young tried to keep it alive. And Clark looking for a choice and instead got picked by Gray. Lloyd calling for it over on the left. They didn't see her. She was open for 3. Asia draws another. And sends Asia to the line, where she was 4 or 5 this afternoon. Asia struggling with her shot in the first half and owned it with her interview with Angel Gray.
Got that special sauce working, though.
That sauce is special, certainly here in the second half. Vegas 12 of 13 from the line. Another turnover and 1. Jackie Young. Caitlin over for a little bit of a chat as Young completes the 3-point play. And it's a 5-0 run. 26 points off turnovers for Vegas. Kelsey Mitchell almost single-handedly keeping them in it.
I mean, she has really been terrific, and she is their best player in terms of putting the ball on the deck and creating shots for herself.
18 points, including 3 threes. Young to Wilson, beautiful. Clark on 3. Last couple of games, it just hasn't looked like her from distance. Hall hustles.
Hall saves so many possessions, or extends so many possessions for the Indiana Fever, just because she reads the ball well coming off the rim, but just attacks the glass. So much of it is effort.
Having a great year, particularly shooting with 3 ball. Challenged by Las Vegas. Wilson thought about it, pulled the trigger and buried it. What a second half for Asia. Ball inside, Boston was able to recover nicely.
I think she wanted a foul call there for an opportunity at an and one.
I believe the shout of and one was a plea for a foul. None forthcoming. 26 for Aliyah. That's one off her season high. Chelsea Gray always seems to give you a bucket when you need it. Just like that, it's an 8-point advantage.
The last 2 buckets for Las Vegas comes from their players who helped them win.
Boston with an uncharacteristic miss. Howard couldn't chase it down. Mitchell is not going to give the ball up.
Kelsey Mitchell has been the answer offensively all 4th quarter for the Indiana Fever.
Great in this quarter. 2 minutes left. John Clark into single digits for Asia, who recognized it and went to work. Drew the... Las Vegas has outscored Indiana by 12 points in this quarter. Mitchell bottled up. Long 3 for Clark. Wilson with the rebound. Young's going to wait.
Another instance, though, Indiana timeout, trying to clear out the left side of the floor for a Mitchell drive.
Caitlin, 1 of 9 from 3 this afternoon. Chelsea Gray doesn't get the bounce this time. So 1 for 9 for Caitlin today from 3. She was 0 for 7 in their loss at Golden State. 1 for 16
game as well.
Yes. Yeah. 1 for 16 in her last 2 games from distance for Caitlin, who scores on the drive. Inside a minute. Caitlin took it away from Young.
We still got a ball game here. This is
going to come back. Contact and a foul called on Indiana.
Steph White's going
challenges for Indiana. Becky Young 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Good line for her this afternoon. 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. Martin plays with such great pace. That's a blocking foul on second trip to the line for Clark. West Coast road swing here for the Fever. go up to Seattle after this game, lost to the Valkyries the game before this. We'll see.
That foul should be on Caitlin Clark.
What a second half for A'ja Wilson. Stokes in for Nye, a little defense for offense substitution. With better defender in. Reset. Paul saw a little bit of daylight, but all is well when A'ja Wilson's on the back line.
That's why you're called a rim protector, and A'ja Wilson comes over on the help side, just leaves Boston, and just beautiful job blocking the shot.
Oh, too far under the basket. Wilson hustles to grab it. And the timeout is taken by Vegas. Differences in the halves for Wilson has been tremendous. All with the grab will send Young back to the free throw line. So
Perfect on the day as well.
It's the big three back from last year. You know, Kelsey Plum now with LA, Young, Wilson, and Gray doing their parts to break this three-game losing streak. Off balance. The Las Vegas Aces with a great response after Indiana came back to tie it here in the fourth. Pull away. The losing streak ends at 3. And they will continue.